It's Eagles game day, and we are live here at the Painted Lines Edge of Philly Sports for our first ever combo pregame show. We'll be with you in about 40 seconds. Hell yeah! Shout out to Chris for putting that together, man. That's a great intro video. Good stuff.
Thanks,
I'm Freddie. Yeah, no problem. I'm Freddie Burns. I have Matty B of Edge of Philly Sports here, and
What's
Chris Deebs. Is it Deebs or Dives? I mix it up every time. I apologize.
It doesn't matter. It's been either way, but it is Dives, but it's been Deebs.
And we're going Dives. I'm going Dives then. So Chris Dives here, Painted Lines. We're doing a little combo here for hopefully forever. I'm thinking. For the future here, Painted Lines, Edge of Philly Sports. Really excited. We have Eagles Lions today. It's going to be a short show. We're going to try to keep it brief. We're going to jump right into it. I want to first get from you two guys, outside of the Eagles Lions, some pre-game game day rituals that you have. And I'll start here with Matty B.
Okay, so first I stick pins in my Howie Roseman doll, and then I move now. To be very, very honest, pre-game rituals, it's a great question. I think it actually kind of depends on the time of the season. Like week one, kind of, it's kind of thrusted upon you, but as the season kind of wears in and I kind of wear into my own pre-game ritual. It's what, back in the day, it was ESPN, or before that it was, I don't really have a pre-game ritual other than get ready for the game. So, wow, you kind of took me off surprise with that one, Freddie Burns. Thank you.
I sent you a message like 6 a.m. when I was going to bring it up, but that's cool. Sometimes people just get up and do whatever. Like it doesn't. You don't have to have a ritual. What's up with you, Chris?
Come on, guys! If you guys follow me on Twitter, you know it's all about the food, baby. Every game day, we're talking right now: smoked chicken wings, smoked chicken thighs, briskets, ribs. Right now, this Sunday, we've got chicken thighs, and I've got a nice mushroom risotto because it's a little dark and wet, and I need something comfort. I need comfort food.
You running a restaurant out there, Dives? I mean, you got like a spot you can get can we all come over and eat? I mean,
anytime, baby, anytime. But yeah, food is my thing. So that's like my passion. I'm one of those weirdos that I could work 8 to 8, go home, peel potatoes, put on some music. That's my happy place. That's like my therapy. So food is everything. It gets me through the week. Game days on Sunday, it's just a celebration.
Awesome. For me, it's I like getting up at like early in the morning, like 6 a.m. I get a paper. I actually just started getting it delivered on Sunday, so I like to read like the Eagles pregame, which I will say I'm very disappointed. The Philadelphia Inquirer. It's not what it used to be.
No matchups. No matchups.
I was kind of upset about that this morning. But anyhow, I got my Eagles mug. I get an Eagles coffee or tea. And then I kind of just chill out for an hour. And then around, like, I'll say, like, I don't know, 9, 10 a.m., I'll start playing Fly, Eagles Fly, that type of thing. And now with my little ones, my little guy here, Freddie, the one, Freddie Strong right here, he just came running over, so I'm going to let him sit here for the show. The kids now, it's more of a family tradition and try to get a family thing going and get the pregame shows in. And then, like, right up until kickoff, you start eating the foods. And I switch it up on the food. Sometimes it'll be soft pretzels. Right now we got a pulled pork in the Eagles crock pot. So nice. I don't have quite as much as you, Chris, but I do have one. So we're going to have some pulled pork. So that's kind of
I do want to throw this one out there. My daughter, who just turned 3, like last Eagles season, she was 2. She was more so playing with toys. She knows the Eagles fight song. That's like one of my truly most proud dad moments. But this year, she's like fully, for the first time, aware of Eagles games and all that kind of stuff. So this is going to be a special day for me.
Good. That's exciting. There's my daughter. Family atmosphere here. So
right on cue.
let's start on with the Eagles offense versus the Lions defense. Okay, last year the Eagles offense ranked 14th if you're going according to yards, and the Lions defense was terrible, ranked 29th. I'll start with Chris. What do you think about that matchup between the Eagles offense? The Eagles obviously added A.J. Brown. That's the big addition for them. And then the Lions drafting Aiden Hutchinson, who looked pretty good if you watched Hard Knocks and the preseason games for the Lions. How do you see that matchup panning out today?
This has to be the biggest storyline of the game. How does the Detroit Lions defense, a defense that is ranked 29th in defensive line, 32nd when it comes to linebackers, 31st when it comes to cornerbacks. They don't have any like great safeties other than Aiden Hutchinson on the line, which we'll talk about in depth in a little bit. This Lions defense is not a strong unit, and that's saying it lightly. So how does the Lions defense not allow or not give up 30 points to the Eagles offense? That's got to be the first step storyline of this game. There are little bits and pieces that I do like about this Lions defense. But when you talk about this Eagles offense, the Eagles offense strengths fit really well against the Lions weaknesses. Like when you talk about A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert and all those skill position guys. And then when you break it down from the Eagles offensive line standpoint, they're not banged up a little bit like the Lions is. So that's a huge thing. Right now I had the Eagles as 4-point favorites. I'm a little higher now in week 1, and we'll get into score predictions a little bit, but that's it. Like I don't, if the Eagles lose this game, it will be because of the Eagles, not because of the Lions. And I'm looking at the Eagles offense coming out a little rusty, a lot of penalties, that kind of stuff. If Jalen Hurts can limit the turnovers, if the offensive line can limit the dumb mistakes, I don't see any reason why the Eagles, at least in the trenches, just bully this Lions defense.
How about you, Matt?
So 17 new players are on the Philadelphia Eagle roster that were not here last year, 17 of them. And as you mentioned, some of those names already, and a lot of them are on the offensive side of the football. Most of them are on defense. But and you mentioned the name Jalen Hurts, and that is really the end of the day what it really boils down to. Is Jalen Hurts going to finally take that step or attempt to take that next step to become the franchise quarterback? It goes as far as Jalen Hurts is going to take him. And you're right. I kind of agree with your statement there, Dives, is that it's not going to be the Lions who beat the Eagles today. It's going to be eventually the Eagles who beat the Eagles if they lose. I don't like the way they run camp. I don't like the way the summers run anymore in the NFL. And I'm not blaming Nick Sirianni for that. I guess it's a league-wide issue. I think they come out too soft. Yes, the Eagles are not banged up, right? They're not banged up. They're not hurt. They have a clean injury report. But is that because they haven't done anything, or is it because they've just been healthy? I don't know. And we did this last year when they were 2-5 coming out the gate. I don't like this. I don't like the bubble wrap on the helmets. I don't like any of that crap. But I agree with you guys. It's not the Lions that's going to win today.
Screw concussions.
Taking them to victory, or they're going to shoot themselves in the foot. So that's where I stand on
that. I agree with both of you. It's interesting. I think I said it on our Edge of Philly show on Wednesday. Like, it comes down to these two methods. The Lions hit a little bit more, which is why they're a little bit more banged up. We didn't hit, so it's going to be like which two methods kind of pan out. But more, I want to go. I think it comes down to the Eagles coaching staff. Are they going to coach to develop Jalen Hurts, or are they going to coach to win the football game? Yeah. And last year they coached to win the football game. So they took the ball out of Jalen Hurts' hands and ran the football down the Lions' throat. That's, for me, what's going to happen here. Because to win a Super Bowl, you need to develop Jalen Hurts. To beat the Lions, you probably just need to run the football. So I think it's going to come down to that, and we'll see what happens in a few hours here. Let's move over to the Eagles defense and the Lions offense. Eagles defense, ton of additions. They were ranked 10th last year, so we're proving on that. They had Jordan Davis in the draft. I'm just going to hit the ones that are starters. They obviously added Nakobe Dean and others, but Jordan Davis is going to play. Kazir White from the Chargers. I'm very excited to see him. James Bradbury, bad year with the Giants. Will he return to form? And then you also have, obviously, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, our additions. we were ranked 10th last year. Offensively, the Lions were ranked 22, but they kind of came on the second half of the year. Amon St. Brown, elevated to a high-level player, it seems, and then they add DJ Chark. Matt, I'll start with you this time. How do you think the Eagles' defense matches up with the Lions' offense and vice versa?
That seems to be the question of the season, is what the Eagle defense is going to do now that John Gannon finally has all. He can't lean on that or die on that personnel hill anymore, because now he's got all the personnel that he's wished for. Now you would have to think that he was involved in that process of bringing these guys here, especially the ones, the established stars, that he wanted them specifically for Howie to target. So, it really boils down to John Gannon. Are we going to see the John Gannon of 2021 with 7 in coverage and then the entire underneath the field left open? Are we going to see a John Gannon that uses all those tools and has exotic blitz packages and checkdowns and roll-offs? I mean, what are we going to see? And how are these players all going to react to that? To me, that is the most unknown aspect of this team going into the season, because this is the side of the ball where they added the most and changed the most. So on paper, yeah, I mean, you got to give it to the Eagles, but we don't play this game on paper. We play it on the field. How are they going to react? How is Jordan Davis going to react to a regular season NFL game? Not the preseason, not the split practices or wherever the joint scrimmages, whatever those things were, but a regular season, full speed NFL game. Is he going to wilt under that pressure, or is he just going to swim right in line? That is a complete unknown, but on paper, I'm going to give it to the Eagles, obviously.
How about you, Deebs?
Yeah, I agree with Matty B. This is the great unknown. It's just as much as it is for Jalen Hurts. It's put up or shut up time for Jonathan Gannon. All the pieces are in place. I expect when it comes to the Detroit Lions, you've got Amon-Ra St. Brown, a guy that can line up in the slot, a guy that can be on the outside, can be a halfback, can get direct snaps. You look at the addition of Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, a guy that is a very strong slot defender, a guy that can play safety, as we expect. I expect a lot of single high defense against the Detroit Lions. When you look at last year, this was a Lions squad that really struggled to get the wide receivers the ball on the outside. This is an offense, a Lions offense that really truly hits you between the sticks. They'll get the ball out fast. They'll try and utilize 2 halfbacks behind the line of scrimmage. I expect a lot of 21 personnel today. So when you look at Jonathan Gannon's defense, I think this bodes really well for Jordan Davis. I expect Jordan Davis to be on the field a lot more than we expect this week. And you're going to see a lot of 3-4. I think you look at that addition of Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. I think you're going to see a lot of nickel. The Eagles were the 5th most nickel defense in the league last year. You look at that addition, I think that's only going to go up. Nickel is the base defense in today's modern NFL. And you look at the top three of the top 5 defenses ran the most nickel in the league last year. So I think that's what we should expect. When it comes to blitzing Jared Goff, he actually is really good when blitz. His numbers per pass attempt go way up when you blitz Jared Goff. So anybody that's expecting to see Jonathan Gannon just load up the box and attack Jared Goff, I think you should temper those expectations. But I agree, Matty B. You will know after the first quarter what Jonathan Gannon is going to be doing, because I banged my head like every single freaking other person last year when he played his cornerbacks 10 yards off the line. That can't happen. The Lions, while they're better at the skill positions, this is really all about slowing down DeAndre Swift and slowing down TJ Hawkinson. If you can take those guys out of this game and make them a non-factor, this Lions offense has no shot.
And also, this Lions offensive line is banged up. And I think that is the big thing I take away from this matchup. Yeah. And by the way, Dimes, I love when you bring in the formations. And if you're ever checking out the painted lines, you got to go through. Dives does so many videos and breakdowns of stuff along with his whole team over there. It's good stuff to watch. I just love it. So great stuff. As far as what I'm saying here, the Lions offensive line is banged up. Big V was their signing a few years ago. He did well, helped us win a Super Bowl. He's out. He's done. Frank Ragnow, their center, he's banged up. We got a pretty – if I said from last year, if we had a strength, I would have picked our defensive line, and we just made it even better. It's better now. So I think defensively, it's going to come down to the Eagles' defensive line mauling over the Lions' offensive line. Obviously, the blitzing. I agree with you, Dives. There should not be a need to blitz. There should be zero need to blitz. They should run them off the field right from the line of scrimmage there. So depending on how that goes, will dictate the rest of the game. Everything else is a question mark to me. I know. Go ahead.
And you look at that interior Eagles defensive line, which is one of the pure strengths of this Eagles roster. Javon Hargrave, Jordan Davis, as you said, Frank Ragnall's battling a groin injury. This is definitely going to be a huge advantage in terms of not blitzing and getting into the grill of Jared Goff, pushing that pocket into Jared Goff. I think there's a really good chance the Eagles see success there.
Agreed. And I'm very curious to watch and see if Bradbury, if that was a fluke, are the reasons the Saints got rid of Chauncey Gardner-Johnson legit? Is he just a slot guy that can't play safety? Was Dennis Allen hiding his flaws? And can Jonathan Gannon hide the flaws of these now vets? Because like you said, Matty B, he no longer has the personnel excuse. Now, we can't make the end-all be-all on game one either. But moving off the offensive defense, I'm sure this will be quick. Special teams. And the reason I really bring up special teams is because I feel like during the Andy Reid era, our special teams was always freaking awesome, except Reno Mahe would just get 6 yards and that's it. We had Brian Mitchell, Brian Westbrook. It was pretty much, and I feel like I don't even think we talk about it anymore. Since Chip Kelly took over, it's kind of just a meh thing. Well, the Eagles elevated Britton Covey from the practice squad to the roster. He is definitely, there's only one reason they did that, and that's to be the punt returner. How do you guys feel about special teams? And is there a level of excitement? Do you think there might be some return game that we haven't had in years?
I think the return game in the NFL is dead. I don't think it's a thing anymore. I'm excited to see Britton Covey. He was a guy that I had really high expectations, especially during the preseason. He didn't really show much. He didn't really get that many opportunities. He clearly was better during training camp and joint practices than the preseason games. As long as it's not Jalen freaking Reagor back there, bumbling the football, I'm good. Special teams is special teams. I wouldn't be surprised if they just get rid of it within the next 10 years.
Yeah, I agree. Listen, guys, I gotta bounce off, so I'll answer this question, and then if I can, I'll give you my prediction for today. But I agree with that. The game. The concept of special teams in the return game is just not non-existent. It probably will be gone completely in the next 5 years. It is down to a straight possession type game, and we need hands people out there to make sure we don't turn the ball over. And we need punters that can get the ball deep and without getting it in the end zone. So I don't think we have either one of those. We may have a hands guy, but he probably won't develop. If it's going to be Covey, it won't be. He's probably going to have some nerves today. I hope he doesn't have that opportunity to make himself famous today. And I'm just not a big Aaron Sippis guy, and I just can't wrap my head around him. And so yeah, I agree with Dives. It's a real dead art form, the return game. So real quick, guys, I gotta give you my prediction, but I got to roll. It's been a pleasure being on with you. With all we talked about and with all the intangibles and X factors, I still got to go Lions 31-17. Just not. I don't think the Eagles are ready yet. I don't. Thank you very much. It's been a great day.
Real quick, hold on. Give me an Eagles season prediction and a quick Super Bowl prediction.
8-9 for the Eagles for the season, and I like the Chargers and Rams at all LA Super Bowl.
Whoa! Even after that showing, you didn't on Thursday night. You didn't bail. I appreciate that, Matt. Well, thank you for coming on. Check out Matty B all over Edge of Philly Sports, especially Fighting's Final. He does a Phillies post game. He does a ton. The Tuesday night show as well. I really enjoy the Phillies Fighting Final though. He gets into it, knows his shit stuff, and so check him out. Have a good one, Matt. Go Birds.
All right, go Birds. Go.
All right, it's down to me and Dives. I think through this telecast or broadcast, I have telecast. We're not on TV. I've said Deeves, Dives back and forth, just like you said would happen in the beginning of the show. So that's hilarious. So special teams for me, I called Britton Covey from before they even went to training camp. And then when Reed Stinton got him injured on the first preseason game, I was so mad. It was a terrible throw, and I was like, he just ruined him. He's not going to make the roster now. And then you saw Deion Kane and Devin Hall make that huge push at the end as a gunner, and I'm like, I'm done. And then lo and behold, they trade Rieger, and I'm like, who's it going to be? Is it going to be Boston Scott? And then they bring up Covey. So I'm not only that, I'm predicting a 50-yard return by Covey today. It might not be a touchdown, a 50-yard return, Britton Covey today. So I'll end the special teams on that. Let's now jump into, we got about 10 minutes left, the key matchups. You had a bunch, and now you're going to have time to do more of them. Obviously, we got a little bit of time here with Maddie dropping off. Jump into the Aiden Hutchinson matchup against Mailata.
So if anybody knows me, I'm a huge NFL draft guy. I cover that religiously throughout the season. Aiden Hutchinson obviously is the big name here, and the battle to watch, and there's a few that I love, but the one I'm most interested in is Jordan Mailata versus Aiden Hutchinson. Again, this is a Lions defense that was bottom 5 in the league last year. The Lions spent 6 of their 8 draft picks on defense last year in last year's draft. And leading off with Aiden Hutchinson, 6'7", 260 pounds. He's going up against Jordan Mailata, who is arguably a top 5 left tackle in the NFL already. But if he wants to hit that upper echelon, a big area for Jordan Mailata is taking that next step when it comes to pass protection. He was not great there. This is more of a run guy. Him next to Landon Dickerson and Jordan Kelsey, that is arguably the best left side of any offensive line in the NFL, period. But Jordan Mailata, man, versus Aiden Hutchinson, that's going to be a lot of fun. You look at Jordan Mailata, he had an 88.3 overall PFF grade. That was second best among left tackles last year. So that's really what I'm expecting. I want to see Jordan Mailata take that next step when it comes to protecting Jalen Hurts. He had a 97.1 pass blocking grade, which was 31st in the league. When you think about the Eagles' offense in 2022, you think of a more well-balanced offense, a team that'll go quick strike, up-tempo, move the ball down the field. There should be zero problem evaluating Jordan Mailata within the first handful of games when it comes to pass protection. So that is definitely my number one matchup to watch.
I love the emergence of Jordan Mailata. Like, from where he was coming over here from rugby, like, there was so much talk of where you would put him. And I was so upset when we got rid of Villanueva way back when. He was a project guy, ended up being a good starter for the Steelers. And I'm glad they saw it through, let him get there. He stepped up. And you saw the first year, he was like, you saw signs of it. And you were like, but then last year he really stepped into the role like a decent player. And I expect Pro Bowl type stuff this year from him. So that's going to be great. And especially with the rookie Hutchinson. For me, I'm actually a Georgia Bulldogs fan.
Yeah, baby.
So I'm going Jordan Davis. This kid was a freaking beast for Georgia all year long on the defensive line. Now, you always had the overweight questions. And when we drafted him, I'm like, what's going to happen here? And then he came in best shape ever. And then you see the highlights where he Juergens, when he drew Juergens. But he came back and said there were times Juergens got his own as well. Preseason looked solid, looked like a cog, Who's that guy on the Packers? Gilbert Brown back in the day, like that big cog but he can get upfield as well. So I'm very interested to see him against Frank Ragnow. I forget how to pronounce it. Ragnow is a solid center in this league, but he's injured. Really he missed Thursday with the hamstring. It's questionable. I think he's still questionable today. I think the final, roster reports are due by 12 o'clock, so we won't know. I'm pretty sure he's going to play, though. I'm interested to see how Jordan Davis, he basically gets a break here in his first NFL start against an injured, good veteran. I might as well throw in the rest of them. Hargrave and Fletcher Cox, the interior of that defensive line has to eat today.
Yeah.
And I want to see them dominate. So that's my matchup, because I think that'll dictate the game. If for some reason that interior defensive line cannot stop the Lions offensive line, then we're in for a sad, sad day. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to piggyback off of that. Something that I'm really excited to see is how many snaps Jordan Davis gets in week 1, because that was something that was largely among the skeptics is like, why would you take a top 15 pick that's only going to play 2 downs, or play passing downs? So that is something to watch. And you could argue Jordan Davis is one of the more important pieces of this Eagles team, especially when it comes to Jonathan Gannon's multiple scheme defense. Jordan Davis allows them to do a lot of stuff that Jonathan Gannon wants to do. And what that means for the edge rushers on the defense when it comes to Josh Sweat, Brandon Graham coming back, my man against Brandon Graham. That's going to be really fun to watch. Hassan Reddick gets his Eagles debut today. So you talk about the Eagles and that pass rush. It starts up in that middle because the Eagles edge rushers, they weren't good enough. Obviously, Brandon Graham got hurt last year, but their win rate was, I think, second best in the NFL. They just did not get home. There's no excuses anymore. Jordan Davis is that nose tackle that's going to take double teams, take triple teams, and open up everything else for this Eagles pass rush. So Jordan Davis is a great pick.
And not even when they go to maybe a 4-3 and you have that opens it up for Cox and Hargrave as well if you get them involved in that sense. Because now the excuses go out the window for Fletcher Cox because no longer is he double and triple teamed. Davis is the one, or vice versa. So one more matchup for me. Give me one more, Dibes.
Oh, it's got to be A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith versus this Lions secondary. The A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith duo is going to be something that I can't even fathom when it comes to watching just elite talent at wide receiver. This is arguably a top 5 unit across the NFL. We get our first taste of this. The Lions do not have a single cornerback, slot defender, or safety that can match up with any of these guys. Not alone A.J. Brown, but Devontae Smith. You're going to see him a lot more in the slot this year. That's a mismatch every single time, especially against the Detroit Lions. I don't know how the Lions stop that. And when you go to A.J. Brown, this kind of also goes into Dallas Goedert as well, because A.J. Brown's going to command so much gravity, so much of the defense attention, the Lions defense attention to him on the boundary. That's going to open up the middle of the field wide open for Dallas Goedert. So I just don't see how the Lions have an answer. They've got Amani, or I can't say it. I'm so bad at saying his last name. Oruwariye. He had a really good season last year. He had 6 picks, but he's more of a CB2 than a CB1. Outside of that, you've kind of got some guys like Mike Hughes, Jeff Okudah, who I really liked actually a couple years ago in the draft.
He was supposed to be the next dominant corner to stop everything, and it kind of just
he's kind of been a little bit of a disappointment. So again, if the Eagles offensive line can provide Jalen Hurts protection, I expect the Eagles to really blow up this Lions defense. And what I'm hoping for is that middle area of the field, because that was something Jalen Hurts really struggled with in his first 2 years. And if he can get A.J. Brown, who thrives in the middle of the field, Dallas Goedert, who thrives in the middle field, some early touches in this game, get Jalen Hurts some rhythm. That's what I'm expecting from Nick Sirianni. And I look at A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, moving all over the place. I just don't see how the Lions have an answer for that.
Wayne Miller has a question, and it goes along with what you're saying. And thanks for listening, Wayne. You've been commenting a ton here. Out of everyone you just said, and I love the Goddard point. I think Goddard, now he gets a full season at tight end. Like, we kind of a lot forget that Ertz was here half the year last year. Now he's going to get a full season as a tight end. I expect big things. Out of everyone, though, who do you think gets the most targets, catches today?
That's a great question, Wayne. And I think a lot of people are going to be quick to say A.J. Brown, because you look at the targets this preseason and training camp, all reports indicate that Jalen Hurts was going to A.J. Brown. Like, it was a constant thing. But a lot of people forget that after the Zach Ertz trade, Dallas Goedert was 6th, I think, in the entire league in targets. And not targets, but it was like targets per route run or something along those lines. So I expect Dallas Goedert not only is a great matchup and the answer to this question, because you look at the Lions slot defenders, you look at the Lions linebackers, they're not good. So I think my answer is Dallas freaking Goedert.
Nice. I got him in fantasy in my one league.
Me too. I'm a little biased.
I also have Amon-Ra St. Brown as well, though.
Yeah, That's a great one to Amon-Ra St. Brown is gonna get the ball. If the Lions have any chance in putting up points, it's being creative and getting that guy the ball in space, screens, you name it, like in the backfield. It's going to be interesting to see how they get this guy going, because I kind of touched on it with Chauncey Gardner, who is one of the best slot defenders in the league. I expect him, Avante, to just spy him. That's why I think we're going to see a lot of nickel, like we always do for the Birds, at least last year. So yeah.
Is that a serious question? I think that's coming from Joey Sheeran there. Are you serious with that? Who cares what the weather is? It's a dome, Joe. Come on. You're better than that. Happy birthday, by the way. I hope you had a good birthday week. All right, let's get into the predictions. We'll start with Eagles-Lions and move that to the season. I know we're a little over time, but we can go to 11:35-ish. And then let's jump into quick Super Bowl prediction as well. So let's start with the Eagles. Eagles-Lions.
Eagles-Lions, I was 24-20 on my show earlier this week. I'm not like other people saying, like, oh, Eagles by 2 scores. I would rather face a great team than a bad team like the Lions week 1. It's week 1. Anything can happen. I had a Lions podcaster come on, and I actually learned that the Lions did not play their starters that much during preseason at all, which I expected to play a lot more than the Eagles. So I think both teams will be a little rusty, but it's the NFL. Anything can happen. So I have the Eagles 27-20. I'm bumping that up just for the fact that you look at this Lions offensive line. They're a little banged up. I expect the Eagles to really turn it up to another level in the second half. So I expect some kind of rusty, dumb mistakes during the first half, but really at the end of the day, the Eagles will cement their will in the trenches in the second half. And that's where I'm going with this. So 27-20, Birds win.
I was fully prepared to come on here and pick the Detroit Lions. I just want to say that right now. I follow Vegas, and Vegas knows stuff. And there is absolutely no reason for this to be a 4 or 5 point spread on paper. It really isn't. We won 44-6 last year. I mean, they've made some improvements, but like 3-13 last year, 9-8, like it just don't add up to me, which tells me it most definitely is going to be a close game. And it goes to what I said in the beginning, and you guys teetered on in the beginning with the injuries. We didn't hit anyone. The Eagles hit no one in camp. The Lions did. There's going to be rust on the Eagles end because of that. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Lions are winning at the half. And we'll have a halftime show coming up for you guys as well, about 5-7 minutes, so it won't take up too much of your time. Be sure to tune in. I'm scared. I'm going to pick the Eagles to win. The Lions are going to cover. I'm going to go 23-20 Eagles in a game where you're kind of pissed off. And you leave a little angry. You're glad we got 1-0, but you're like, maybe we should take those Super Bowl predictions off the board a little bit and let's let this thing play out.
And I agree with that. I was really close to where my gut is right now. And don't listen to all the Twitter fans like the sky is falling. It's literally week 1. It means nothing. So people just kind of like check themselves a little bit. If the Eagles do come out flat, rusty, whatever, it's just week 1.
All right, season prediction. What's our record, and where do the Eagles fall in if they make the playoffs, or how far will they go?
I'm at 11-6, and a lot like what Matty B said earlier. It all falls on Jalen Hurts and what this Eagles offense will look like. It's really hard to read because it depends on how they start. It depends on, will Nick Sirianni stick with the pass over the run? Like you said earlier at the start of the show, will Nick Sirianni ignore all the fans? Because if the Eagles do come out flat, and maybe go 500 in the first 6 games, every single Eagles fan in that stadium will be yelling, pound the rock, run the ball. Like, that's what we're going to get. But like you said earlier, like you're not, that's not success for this team. Success for this team, realistically, is Jalen Hurts taking that next step and you having all the information and data to support that he can get you a playoff win. So for me, I'm in that 10 to 11 range. I'm going to say 11-6 right now, given the schedule. I am not an anti-Jalen Hurts guy. I think he's a good, above average, good quarterback that has everything in front of him if he wants to prove that he's a franchise guy. I think it's 50-50. And I don't think I'll just leave it at that. Well, that's another conversation. So 11-6. But it's still, if the Eagles go 11-6 and Jalen Hurts wins you a playoff game, that is a successful season given what's ahead and what this team has to look forward to.
I would most certainly consider that a success. In fact, that would be my ceiling for the team. That would be where I want to be. They didn't beat anyone last year. Like, we could take that 9-8 record. They did not beat one team that is good, and the teams that were crappy, they just skipped by, like the Redskins on Monday Night Football, or was it Thursday night? Whatever. Tyler Heineke or Benjamin Button, whatever the hell that guy's name was. They were losing at one point. So, like, I can't get on the hype train to the Super Bowl, which I just watched it on NFL Network, 8 a.m. I forget the guy's name, Chiefs, Eagles. I'm like, come on. And secondly, like Kelsey said, I hate when they predict the Eagles to win the Super Bowl because we typically suck. Remember the Dream Team.
Yeah,
I'm going 9-8.
Okay.
I wouldn't be stunned if they were 7-10. I'm sorry. I'm going to go 10-7. I wouldn't be stunned if they were 9-8 or lower. My whole thing is Jalen Hurts. I don't hate Jalen Hurts. I want him to do good. I'm just not a believer yet. And I think he's a quarterback that can get you to the playoffs. But as you saw the Bucs did in that game, they were mic'd up. And the coaching staff was like, he can't read the field. He can't read the field. And then Bruce Arians, after they scored 14 points, he's like, that's enough. We're good. When you hear that from a Super Bowl team like the Buccaneers, that's a red flag for me. I need to see Hurts take the next step. I know he can run. I need the ball thrown over the middle field. So that's where I'm at. I'm going to have the Eagles in the playoffs. It's hard for me. No, I don't. I don't have them in the playoffs.
Depends on the matchup.
I'm lying. I'm being a homer. I don't think they're in the playoffs.
Wow.
I don't. I think they fall just short of the wild card. I'm not going to have them in the playoffs. 10-7 and not in the playoffs is my I can't lie. I can't lie, Dives. I got to go with my heart. So that's my prediction there. Quick Super Bowl for me. I'm going to go Buffalo Bills, the obvious pick, and Minnesota Vikings.
Nice.
How about you? Did you say
I'm going to go. I like Matty B's pick, the Chargers. Justin Herbert is the next star of the league. And I expect that huge jump forward for him. And then I'll go Bucks. I'm not doubting Tom Brady. I'm beyond that. So I'll go a Chargers Buccaneers Super Bowl this season.
Good call. Thanks for joining me, Dives, or joining us. And then tune in at halftime. We'll be right back here again. And then post game as well. We're doing all three every week this year with the Painted Lines and EOP. We will see you in 11:38. So about 2.5, 3 hours.
Yes,
Go
sir.
Birds.
Go Birds, baby.